And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show, where I get cramp in my fingers because I type too much during the day.
Yeah.
What's up, Marcus? How you doing today?
Hey, no, I'm doing pretty good, Michael. What's going on?
I'm working out these cramps because I've been typing mode
Yeah.
all morning, and it's been
Okay.
a busy day here at the office. So I love talking to my man like over here. So Marcus, tonight is the first preseason game. We have the Falcons take on the Broncos in the Hall of Fame game. We're not really going to talk too much on that because let's be honest. Most people only care about the first two quarters when the starters are playing. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little regular season, I guess postseason awards. MVP race is a big topic in everybody's NFL minds here. Who are your top four MVP candidates for the 2019 NFL season?
Mahomes is first. That's number one. I mean, he throws 50 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. I mean,
Right.
that's ridiculous. He's the best in football. I mean, in terms of from a talent standpoint, pure talent. I gotta go Mahomes first. Andrew Luck's up there. Aaron Rodgers, Breeze, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and Carson Wentz. I guess I throw him in there, maybe. But those are the quarterbacks that I would be looking at. Deshaun Watson pulled off miracles last year. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, Deshaun Watson was doing what Mahomes was doing when the offensive
Mm-hmm.
line was a little better. He would he threw like 19 touchdowns in 6 games. I mean, he was the rookie record at the
Right.
time and all this. And then last year he came back down to earth a little bit, and so did Bill O'Brien. It wasn't the play calling. It wasn't because Deshaun Watson got worse or Bill O'Brien got worse. It was the offensive line was terrible. So he'll be in the running. Deshaun, the offensive line, they've addressed it. I think they fixed it. They've addressed it. Andrew Luck's right there. Although Andrew Luck now has a calf strain, I'm hearing. Um, they're scared about it being like similar to Kevin Durant. That's a little scary. Aaron Rodgers is always there. Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. I just think he's going to have an average football team now. They're paying two players 30% of the cap. That's never a good thing. So those are my top ones. But I would have to go uh, Patrick Mahomes first. I mean, the dude's unreal. I mean, and then now you get Tyreek Hill back, and there's no Tyreek Hill suspension, and McCole Hardman has been turning heads at training camp. I think he's going to be the real deal, and Sammy Watkins has always got something to prove. Former fifth overall pick to with the Buffalo Bills, and now he's a Chief, so he's always got something to prove that he's not a bust or anything. Which I don't think he's a bust, but he hasn't been unbelievable. But he's been pretty well. He's been playing pretty well. So yeah, those are my top right there. If I a betting man, I'm telling you right now, I you know I'd fork that money up, man, and put it on the Kansas City Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. And I'd also, gun to my head, I'm putting Patrick Mahomes NFL MVP.
Right. So my biggest issue about this whole MVP race is normally it is not really the most valuable player on the on a team. It's the best
Right,
player on the best team, what it normally comes down to. And
right,
and if we're going to do that, Patrick Mahomes is definitely at the top of the list. But
right.
if this was a true MVP, most valuable player, the most valuable player has to be Tom Brady. He is what is going to make the Patriots go to the Super Bowl again, or win that division, or not make it. I mean, like if Tom Brady falls off the face of the earth and finally hits that wall that we've been talking about for the last 3 or 4 years, Patriots suck. If he does it, Patriots are pretty good. So I have to put Tom Brady in that discussion as well.
Okay.
Um, Philip Rivers for the Chargers also has to be in
Yeah.
the conversation just like as well.
Yes.
He is hungry for that Super Bowl win, or even a playoff win. This season, because the other two quarterbacks in that class of his.
Right.
Eli Manning and Ben Roethlisberger both have two Super Bowls, like a piece. So
Yeah.
he wants to be a part of that talk. So putting a MVP by his name would definitely help that
Right.
as well. But the team, like the most valuable player of any player, any team, has to be your Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson. He
Yeah.
he makes that team go. Yes, the defense is pretty good. Yes, Hopkins is pretty good, but without Watson or like without their quarterback
Yeah,
playing well,
I
they
believe. Yeah.
are a 2-win team. They are a 3-win team. They are not very good without the Deshaun Watson
Well,
as
I
their
mean, they have too much talent.
quarterback.
I wouldn't go that far, but they're below average. You're
Yes.
talking about 7-9, 6-10 now. AJ McCarron, I think, is a good backup. He's a good quarterback. I really do. Um, but with AJ McCarron starting 16 games, we go 8-8. The Texans would go 8-8. With Deshaun Watson, they have a chance to go 12-4. It's a big difference.
Right. And we saw last year that he single-handedly put that team, into the playoffs and put them on their back. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
he's a very special talent, and he may not be on the best team, but he is the most valuable player on his
yeah,
team. And I think
yeah,
that
no,
like that is what the true statement of this meeting is the MVP. But
no doubt about it. No doubt
voters don't
about it.
really people don't really vote that way. Why do you think people vote for the best player on the best team, which is usually the quarterback at the end of the day?
Right. No, I mean that because it's just people see the winning. The people see the winning, and they'll see, oh, okay, well they're winning, and this is the best player, So that's how normally just people just do it. I mean, nobody really, a lot of them don't vote for. You're right. They don't vote for the best player in the world. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it just happens all the time. Michael Jordan and LeBron James would have even more MVPs. LeBron James would have more MVPs. I mean,
Yeah.
let's keep it real. So, um, but yeah, I
He
mean,
should win an
I think
MVP almost every year, honestly.
yeah, and Philip Rivers, I agree with that assessment. Philip Rivers is pretty special. I mean, without Philip Rivers, they would probably go in the toilet as well.
Right.
So yeah,
Speaking
so
of not going in the toilet, your Houston Astros were active in the free agent market right before the trade deadline. Yesterday is when the deadline hit. They added another pitcher by the name of Zack Greinke. If you guys don't remember Zack Greinke, he was the Royal stud for a very long time. They traded him to the Dodgers, I believe it was. We got a bunch of prospects and picks, and then Zack Greinke's been quietly bouncing around the league for
yeah,
5 or 6 years now. Like he seems like he pops up on a new team every year, but he is still a dominant pitcher. The Houston Astros now have four pitchers in the top five ERA.
yeah,
Are your Houston Astros poised to make a playoff, to make a World Series run? I mean,
yeah. I
if
mean,
they don't win it, like, does hell have to freeze over like
yeah.
at this point?
I mean, listen, the Dodgers are talented, the Yankees are talented, but the Astros. I mean, when you have a lineup of Cole and Verlander and Miley and Greinke. I mean, that's just insane. The rich just got richer yesterday. I'm glad it's my Houston Astros, but man, if all other teams around the league, I'd be like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, to throw out Verlander game one and then Cole game two, or Greinke game two, and then come back with Cole game three or Greinke game. I mean, that's ridiculous, especially in the first round. That should be a sweep you know, So I mean, it's just absolutely insane. The rich get richer, absolutely. And I thought they would make a move. I heard it was Bumgardner, which would have been interesting. But Greinke, man, I mean, he's right there. But he's got a 2.9 ERA. That's just wow. I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but yeah, absolutely, man. The Astros is World Series or bust.
Oh, you are 100% right here. So I just looked up Zack Greinke's stats. You are correct on the 2.9 ERA,
Yeah,
but his career ERA is 3.3. So
yeah,
on all when he was with the Kansas City Royals, they were
yeah,
horrible. They were a 30 to 40 win team every year, 100 plus losses year in and like year out. Still had a 3.3 ERA when he was with the
yeah,
Kansas City Royals. The
yeah,
the 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 highest his ERA has ever gotten is 5.5, and that was the year that he went 5-17, but he his run support, like during those five
oh,
games,
sure.
they only had 2 runs. They averaged 1.3 runs a game during that 2005 season. Just
Yeah, that would suck if you're a pitcher to play a season like that. Just
yeah,
bad luck, and then every time you go out there, your team doesn't score more than 2 runs. That would suck.
right.
Like literally. That I kudos to those pitchers who don't start blasting people in post game.
Yeah, I
after a
mean,
while because I would be pissed.
he is a man's man. Like he spent 7 years in a Kansas City Royals uniform and won 50% of his games.
So that's why
Just
he's going. So he's going to the Hall of Fame for that.
uh, I would put him in the Ring of Honor. But just wrap your head around this, guys. In 2009, Zack Greinke made his first All Star game. He won 16 games for the Kansas City Royals. The Royals won 32 games that year.
Oh
Zack
my God!
Greinke won over half of your guys' games in 2009.
Wait, the Royals went 32 and 130.
Yeah, it was the
That's
worst Major League Baseball record ever.
one. How do you, man? 130 losses. You wear that bumper sticker. 130 losses, baby.
I uh I misspoke. He won 40% of their
Okay.
games. They
Yeah.
lost 117 games
Okay. Okay. That
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 year.
sounds a little
Yeah.
better. 132 games. Wow. So okay. So, okay. Got you.
But still, that's a lot of baseball
That's a
games we're
lot. Yeah.
losing. So
Absolutely.
that just shows you how valuable he is. And when a pitcher that has a 3.3 ERA on this is his what 17th year
Yeah.
in the in the league, and he is your fourth best pitcher on your staff, you guys are going to do good things.
Yeah. No, it's kind of ridiculous. It is.
But I want to be the first to congratulate the Houston Astros on the 2019 World Series win here. They will go ahead and sweep through every game in the
Hey, it's
postseason.
funny though. I mean, we say that now, and I think it is World Series or bust, but it doesn't always work that way, man. Baseball's a funny game about the ball bouncing certain ways, and
It
I
is
mean,
it
look,
is definitely a momentum game.
yeah, the Atlanta Braves had Greg Maddux and John Smoltz and Tom Glavine for a long time, and they got one World Series ring out of it. You know what I mean? So, and they were always in it every year. They lost World Series, and sometimes they shouldn't have lost some of those. I mean, but sometimes their offense didn't hit. Ron Gant and David Justice and those guys, sometimes they weren't hitting well. So you could have all the greatest pitching in the world. You better be able to swing the bat. Astros can't swing the bat, so I think they will get to the World Series.
Yeah, I mean they are now co-favorites with the Los Angeles Dodgers
Yeah,
with that both I believe it was 5-1 odds if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
So I mean pretty good odds to win or to
yeah.
make it to the World Series. But
Right.
let's go ahead and go back over to the gridiron here. If you guys have been sleeping under a rock here, yesterday Michael Thomas signed the richest wide receiver contract ever with 5 years,
Right.
$100 million with the New Orleans Saints. Marcus, me and you have kind of been on record many, many times saying that you cannot tie up 20% of your salary cap for one
Yeah.
player. And that's kind of what the Saints just did with Michael Thomas as a wide receiver. I was talking on a different podcast when this first happened, and I said, "Congratulations, Saints! You guys signed your guy, but congratulations, Saints! In 2 years, you will be a mediocre football team, just like the Lions, just like the Seahawks, and just like the Falcons."
Right.
Do you agree with that assessment?
Probably because Drew Brees is the guy that makes that thing go. If you bring in, I mean, I don't, they still have Teddy Bridgewater, right? But I mean, I like Teddy Bridgewater, but they're not going to be the same because in a couple years I don't expect Drew Brees to be there.
Right.
Just this is the first year I expect Tom Brady to fall off the map too. Very first year is going to be 42. Okay, it's going to end sooner or later. There's no way you and I are talking and Brady's going. We're talking like, oh, he's 44. He threw another 40 touchdowns. No, I mean, it's going to eventually happen. And I've never predicted the Brady thing to happen, but this is the first year I'm doing so. So Drew Brees eventually, that's good. He's going to retire. I don't know if he's going to do the Brady thing at 42 years old, but yeah, I mean, that's what the market is. I think Mickey Loomis, the general manager of the Saints, made him the highest paid receiver, number 13 in your New Orleans Saints program, and he's really good football player. I mean, where he runs all the routes, he's fast, he's big, strong. I mean, I like everything about Michael Thomas. I mean, and apparently the Saints do too. I expected the contract to be somewhere around there. Cooper's deal, I think, should come. Julio Jones is going to come up pretty soon, and his contract should be around there. I think Cooper, they're going to try to convince Amari Cooper to be in there on that $18 million. not 20 million. And I think that's insane too to me. To pay a wide receiver like that. Um, but man, it's funny when I looked at this contract. Michael Thomas contract, it's very similar to DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, the top wide receiver and the top defensive ends are being paid similar. Have you seen DeMarcus Lawrence contract? It's also 5 years, 100 million, 65 million guaranteed.
Right.
What is Michael Thomas? It's 5 years, 100 million, right?
Yep.
I don't know how much guaranteed.
I thought they said something about 45, like
Okay,
45 or 55 is ringing the bell.
okay,
I
yeah,
don't have the numbers in my
yeah.
head.
DeMarcus is like a little bit more guaranteed, but they're both 5 year, $100 million contracts. DeMarcus Lawrence and Michael Thomas. Um, hey, that's what the market says, man. Listen, I love Jerry Rice. Okay, I'm not one of these cowboy homers and think, oh, Michael Irvin's the greatest receiver of all time, or Drew Pearson, or you know what I mean? Like, dude, you got to call it as you call it. Jerry Rice is the best receiver of all time. But man, I don't like who the NFL's best player of all time. People will say Jerry Rice, and I just don't like to put a player that needs everything to go right for you to get the ball, and you like everybody has to do their job just for you to get one catch. Quarterback, linebackers, receivers have to clear people out, and tight ends. So it's all predicated on you getting this one catch, and you only get about 5, 6 catches a game. So, I mean, yes, you do have an effect on the game, but how much out of 50, 60, 70, 80 plays? You're getting the ball 5, 6 times a game, so it's hard for me to say you're the best player ever, Jerry Rice, when you get the ball 5, 6 times a game, and everybody has to do their job for that to happen.
Right, right,
So just like Michael Thomas, everybody, it's hard for me to give receivers like this amount of money when everything has to go right for you to be good.
right.
Like, I mean, that's why it'll a lot of times it'll go to running back, or quarterback, because they actually have running backs are getting killed every play, even when they don't get the ball, they're blocking. So that's why, in my opinion, I think Walter Payton is the greatest football player that ever lived. But you can argue, people argue Jerry Rice, and that's what I tell them.
Yeah.
But Michael Thomas, this is what the market dictated, and that's what he got. And Mickey Loomis is a dumb man, and so the general manager. So this is what it dictated, and this is what Michael Thomas got, and let's hope they can squeeze a couple of Super Bowls before Drew Brees leaves. Because
Right.
let's go back to your point, with his Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater could have moved on, and it's somebody else. Michael Thomas isn't going to look as good if number 9 isn't throwing him the football.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hearing this contract kind of upsets me a little bit as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, because I think Tyreek Hill is better than Michael Thomas, and his contract is coming due in 2 years, like I think it is. And so, he is going to want $100 million contract. Patrick Mahomes' contract is coming due. He's going to want a lot of money. Travis
Right.
Kelsey's contract is coming due. So kind of for like the Kansas City Chiefs, just the same thing as the Saints. This is
Right.
Super Bowl or bust right now in these next 2-3 years. Why you still have these great players for like cheap? The reason why I'm upset with Michael Thomas's contract
Right.
is because I don't think he is the best wide receiver in the league right now. So for him getting this $100 million contract, that's going to bump Hopkins, contract up. That's going to bump
Oh.
Tyreek Hill's contract up. That's going to bump Julio Jones' contract up. Even Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, let's say Odell Beckham Jr. has a fabulous year. He's going to have won $100 million contract. So, I mean, the bar has been set now. 5 years, $100 million contract for a wide receiver is an acceptable thing. So, so when Amari Cooper says, I want 5 years, $95 million. I mean, he is not the highest paid wide receiver, but he is still a top 7 talent, I think, in the league.
Right.
Maybe even
He is.
top 8. So you have to give him that much money because Michael Thomas, the 5th best receiver in the league, just got $100 million. So this is the beginning of the end
Right.
for a lot of teams. I mean, the Cowboys need Amari Cooper.
They do.
You can see him going to a team that has cap space. I mean, maybe the Cowboys won't have the cap space. Who knows? Because they have 3 players that they have to pay here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs beginning about the end. Tyreek Hill is going to want some money. Sammy
Right.
Watkins is going to want
Well,
money. Kelvin Benjamin's
let me
going to
say
want
this.
money.
Tyreek Hill's contract's coming up this year. They're going to have to pay Tyreek Hill this year. He's only got $1.9 million.
Right.
He's very underpaid, left on his deal. So Tyreek Hill, they're going to have to make a decision on him coming up this summer.
Right.
Whether he's going to get a contract. Yes, this is put up or shut up time. The Chiefs need to hurry up and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: is Tyreek Hill worth the 5 years, $100 million?
If you take away all the off court, all the off field stuff, he's more worth it than Michael Thomas is. And it doesn't mean he's a better route runner than Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is a special talent, but Tyreek Hill, man, hey, he runs all those routes and he does jet sweeps. You give it to him like a running back as well.
Yeah. So Michael Thomas gets the ball thrown his way 12 to 15 times a game. Tyreek Hill can touch the ball 15 times in a quarter, like per quarter per game. So it's much more valuable.
He's getting it on jet sweeps and handoffs and reverses. They're using Tyreek Hill in different. Michael Thomas, they usually don't do that. No. Michael Thomas is a straight up, I line up in this receiver position and I get targeted 12 times and I catch 6 balls or 8 balls, whatever. So Tyreek Hill is a more special talent. Let's just keep it real. Tyreek Hill is everything Tavon Austin was supposed to be coming out of West Virginia 5 years ago. And Tyreek Hill has shown that Tavon Austin, this is how you do it, dude. You know what I mean? So no, Tyreek Hill is $100 million man if Michael Thomas is. And just to go to I was talking about Amari Cooper and Jerry Rice. Mm-hmm. Man, there's not a player that reminds me more of Jerry Rice than Amari Cooper. Their efficiency, just watch how they get out of breaks in their route running. I feel like I'm looking at a little bit stronger Jerry Rice when I watch Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
he is.
I would love to see him grow more. Yep.
Yes, and I'm wondering if he would take a hometown discount. I mean, because I really think Jerry Jones is going to – and I don't mean like when people say that, it's like a bad moniker, like, oh, hometown, what are you going to offer him, like $10 million a year? No. But he's just somewhere in that 16, 17 range. How about like 5 years, $80 million?
Yeah.
6 years, $65 million. I mean, not 60.
Because we just don't need you, Amari Cooper. We also need to sign Dak. Also need to sign Zeke. Also need to sign that offensive lineman. You also need to sign that defensive side of the ball that's keeping us in like in games.
I misspoke. I said 6 years. No, 4 years, $65 million. So that's like $16 million a year. I mean, I think that he would take that, and if he doesn't, then hey, bye. I mean, I'm sorry.
Right.
Just
like you said on Tuesday's show, there are just as talented players coming into the NFL that I can give $3 million to that can do 80% of what you do.
And let me keep it real with you. Guess who his name is? His name is Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
And Michael Gallup is a really good talent. Like I'm not joking. He is so. So that dude reminds me of a few ex Green Bay Packer receivers.
Yeah. So let's just talk about Michael Thomas here for a little bit more real quick. We said that we're going to he'll probably get 6 catches like a game. If he averages six catches per game times 16, that's 96 catches in the season, making $20 million like a year. That's $200,000 a catch that he's making.
That's incredible. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be up there as well pretty soon. So that is incredible. But you know what? They had to get the Michael Thomas deal done. I don't really like their receiving core. Normally, I like Drew Brees and how he spreads it around everybody. I think they just released somebody, and then I feel like Ted Ginn is their second best. They released Cameron Meredith the other day, who I thought they were going to count on a little bit more. And then it's like Ted Ginn Jr. is their second best receiver. Dude, they needed Michael Thomas,
You are right, but I don't think they needed him 100 million ways. But
yeah, that's true. But that's what the market's doing right now.
True.
I'm just hoping Amari Cooper can take a little bit less. That's what Jerry Jones is hoping too.
Yeah, winning cures all. Winning makes you happy. Maybe keep the upfront money lower and more of a bonus instead of hey, you get us to the Super Bowl. Here's your $100 million sign-on or whatever bonus.
Hey, real quick on a side note, Michael Thomas had a great year last year. Remember it?
Right.
Against the Cowboys. They put the clamps on his ass. You don't remember that?
Yeah,
he did nothing.
I think he had the ball thrown to maybe 4 times, and he didn't catch a ball. So
I think they rolled the coverage to him, and then we dominated their ass. That's
yeah,
good. Our offense just wasn't worth the piss that game because, and then also we could have scored and ran it up on them, but we didn't. But so it was like the final was like 13-10, you know.
right.
But yeah, and Dallas missed a bunch of opportunities to blow the game open. So the defense showed up big time that game, and that's huge.
Yeah,
Like that's awesome. So we in the game plan, the Cowboys know how to beat Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara.
yeah.
Remember Alvin Kamara was running side was scoring touchdowns against everybody else. What did he do against Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith?
Jack crap.
Nothing. So that's going to be fun to watch. We have some kind of game plan. Rob Marinelli and them boys put a game plan together to stop Breeze, and I love it.
Yeah. So speaking of the Saints, guys, today we're going to break down the New Orleans Saints schedule, and let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Week 1, they open the game up at home, taking on Marcus's season holding tickets, Houston Texans. Who do you got?
Saints 34, Texans 31 in a shootout.
You know, I have the same thing. I do have Houston winning this game just because Saints at home opening week. It's like it'd be tough to stop them.
It's the night game and it's crazy.
Yeah, so week 2 they are traveling to LA to take on the Rams. I have them losing this game. I like the Rams at home. Who do you got?
No, I got them losing too, right? We didn't do the Rams schedule right, but I know they're going to lose this one.
Yeah. Week 3 they're at Seattle. I really wanted to pick this upset, but I don't see the Saints starting 1 and 2. So I got the Rams, the Saints beating the Seahawks in week 3.
I'm pretty sure I'll have Seattle winning this one.
Okay. So then jumping on to week 4, we already picked the Cowboys game here. Did we pick the Cowboys game? We must have. I have it highlighted. All right. No, we didn't. I had the Cowboys losing this game, so Saints beat the Cowboys.
Okay.
Who do you have?
Yeah, I got the Saints winning this one.
So the next week they're traveling to Tampa Bay. We both had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning that game.
Okay.
The following week they travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Who do you got?
That's a tough one because, this way it's funny. It's tough to project like this because how good is Nick Foles playing? Like it's just as crazy. You know what I mean? Like we don't know what's going on here. Man, I guess I'm gonna have to take Jacksonville at home. Sometimes the Saints are out of their element and they go into the grass and the heat, right? Like it's a little bit out of there. This might be one of their losses. I'll take this. I'll take Jacksonville.
I'm the same boat as you are. Like I'm like, what is Nick Foles? Is Nick Foles even going to be on the field like at this point in time because he's just playing so bad. But I think the Saints are going to be doing good things. I gave them another win, giving them the 4th straight win in a row, giving them a matchup at Chicago. Who do you got?
This will probably be the Fox main game of the night, 4:25, or excuse me, main game of the afternoon. Everybody be watching it after all the noon games are done. So this would be the game everybody's watching. I got Chicago and Mitchell Trubisky beating at home. Another out of your element game a little bit. The Saints can win on the road. I'm not saying they're going to lose all their road games, but when you catch the Saints on grass outdoors a lot of times, whether it's cold or hot, I mean, the other team plays well also. So I think that they'll lose this one too.
Yeah, just to add to your point there, this is going to be like a mid-October, late October game, so there's going to be a little crisp in the air. Like that wind coming off the lake, giving this dome team and the Saints a little bit of, I don't know if I want to be outside, but I do have the Saints winning this game. I don't have faith in the Bears. I think Mitchell Trubisky is overrated just a little bit, and
right.
I don't have faith in them. Giving a matchup of back home taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Who do you got?
This will be a blowout. I got the Saints. This is one of those games where everybody will pad the stats and Breeze will throw for 400 yards and yeah.
This is a game that I'm kind of curious of where Kyler Murray is sitting at this point. I do have the Saints winning.
Hey, Michael, real quick on the breaking news here. Stephen Jones, he just talked about stuff. Do you hear what he just said? I'll tell you in a minute. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Because it's exactly what we were talking about. That's why I'm going to give you this breaking news. Stephen Jones just said we are not going to be a market setter. We're not going to be like. So basically, what he's saying, they're going to play hardball with Amari and Zeke,
Mm.
and he's telling them, you guys aren't going to break the bank and become the highest paid running back and the highest paid wide receiver. It's not going to happen here. You're going to get good money. You're going to be paid good money. You're going to be paid pretty well. We're not going to give you chump change, but we're also not going to make you the highest paid at your position.
Right.
So they're either going to accept that or not. So let's get back to the schedule. But it's funny, we were just talking about that, and Stephen Jones just pretty much is almost like he's listening to us, and like, that we know what he's talking about. Like, he just pretty much said what we said.
Yeah. It's basically, do you want to win or do you want to make some cash?
Right.
So it is what it is. So the next
Right.
week, they have their bye week. Coming off the bye week, they're at home, take on the Atlanta Falcons. We have them both winning that game. Next week, they're at Tampa Bay. You have them losing to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I have them beating Tampa Bay, giving us a matchup at home, take on the Carolina Panthers. Who do you got?
No, they'll beat Carolina. Who knows how Cam Newton will be at this point in time?
Yeah.
He's got that bad shoulder. It's making him throw the ball funky. They're making him throw from different angles. They're trying to change his arm direction or how he follows through with the ball and all that. It's bad. It's bad news in Carolina. I watched Cam Newton play last year and I said, oh my God, this guy, he already had trouble with accuracy, right?
Right.
Accuracy issues. So imagine him throwing with a bad shoulder. So it got worse.
Yeah.
So
breaking down a professional's mechanics after being in the year for 9 years and like only having
Not
3
good.
winning seasons. This is the beginning of the end of Cam Newton, and this loss to the Saints kind of puts a staple in his career. He is going to be a career backup quarterback like for Ryan Fitzpatrick after this season. Giving us a next week matchup, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. We have them both losing this game. Giving us a matchup back home at Superdome, take on the San Francisco 49ers.
They'll win this one pretty easily. Well, maybe not easily. I think John Lynch has done a really good job with the San Francisco 49ers and building that team. But no, they're not beating the Saints in this game.
Yeah, I had the Saints winning as well. Like earlier, you kind of alluded to that. You were kind of high on the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Think they'll have a pretty good year. I'm kind of on the opposite side of that coin. I think there's still going to be a 5 or 6 win team, and one of those wins is not coming this week. Moving on to the next week, still at home, take on the Indianapolis Colts.
They'll beat the Indianapolis Colts. We'll see where Andrew Luck is at this point. You know what's funny is this NFL now. I mean, listen, back in the day too, it was predicated on quarterbacks as well, like how good they. But in this day and age in NFL, with the salary cap and all that, and you have to pay your quarterback 20% of the cap and all that, you're really living or dying with these quarterbacks. And Andrew Luck's got a cap issue, right? I mean, we're talking this game's already going to be, this December 16th, the day before my birthday. It's a night game.
Happy early birthday.
This is way far away from that. Well, hey, hopefully the Saints will give me a birthday and they'll beat. I hate the Colts,
right?
So maybe they'll give me but yeah, I mean, we're gonna see where Andrew Luck is because he's having calf issues, and he says, you know what, I don't know if you heard him the other day, Andrew Luck. I don't know. He was sounding like it wasn't good.
Well, I watched that post like that interview. I don't know if it's post practice because he was sweaty as all get out. But first thing that I want to notice is I want to give my wife props, and like he's like, this guy's a millionaire. He needs to learn how to shave and clean and like clean up his beard. But that's besides the point. But he kept alluding to like there is no tear in the Achilles. This isn't a Kevin Durant issue. When you bring that up and you say there's no issue, but the team is shutting you down, you are not going to practice. You are not going to play any preseason games. Like you aren't even going to touch a football till September 1st. That kind of throws some red flags my way because we're all guys, and when you start saying this is not the issue, this is not the issue. Truth is that's the issue. So.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't sound good. I don't care what they say. If they're not, I mean, obviously there's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see what he's doing at this point in the year. I got New Orleans beating the Colts here.
And just to add to your point about how teams live and die by their quarterback, Andrew Luck last year was the first time he played a full season in 4 years. Like he missed
Yeah.
16, 7, 6, and 1 games in the last couple seasons.
Right.
So my wife, as a Colts fan, strongly dislikes that guy. But moving on to the next week, on the road, taking on the Tennessee Titans.
Wow. This is a tough one for me. Man, I think they lose this one too. I think the Saints will lose to the Tennessee Titans the day before my son's birthday. So
Yeah.
we're all just, and then the next week is Carolina. That's the day after my daughter's birthday. So we're a lot of us are December.
Well, we know what
Crazy.
Marcus was doing
Yeah.
March.
In March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spring break.
Right, there we go. So I actually have them losing to the Titans as well. I want to allude to what you said earlier. This is a dome team playing outside in kind of a cold weather environment a little bit. They're not going to want to play. That's
Right.
why I have losing this game. Sorry
many
about
wins?
the wind.
Yeah, it's okay. How many wins do I have them at?
Right now you have them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow. Okay. No, I got them beating Carolina the final week of the season to win 10 wins.
Yeah, and I have the exact opposite. I have them losing to Carolina because at this point they've benched Cam Newton. They're working on their future, and they just happen to click just right and play just good enough to beat the Saints. Plus, the Saints aren't playing their starters like at this point in time. I have them going 12-4 on the season.
Wow. So, okay. So you had I thought I'd have them a little bit better than that. So what did you have Dallas at? Did you have Dallas 12-4 or 13-3?
I have the Cowboys at 13-3, giving them the number 1 seed.
That's a little touch and go because if they lose one more, then they tie your 12-4 record Saints, and then the tiebreaker is the week 4 game.
Yeah.
You have them beating. Do you have Dallas winning the week 4 game or no?
I had the Saints winning that game.
So if they both finish 12-4, Saints would be the number 1 seed. So yeah.
Right.
But yeah. So that's pretty touch and go. And listen, the Saints are this year. We didn't talk about the defensive side of the ball. We're talking about Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. They drafted a kid out of UTSA San Antonio who went to San Antonio High School here, Stevens High School. His name is Marcus Davenport, and he dominated high school. He dominated UTSA, getting to the quarterback. Man, the guy plays. That reminded me of DeMarcus Ware. Marcus Davenport for the New Orleans Saints. They gave up a first-round pick. I don't know if you know that to get him in the draft 2 years ago. He better come into his own this year. They're going to need him on the pass rush, and also Cameron Jordan. Always been a beast, playing that 5 technique, defensive end and a 3-4, defensive end and a 3-4 is a 5 technique, and then they signed Malcolm Brown from University of Texas. I'm very familiar with Malcolm Brown. That guy dominates in the middle. He dominates inside. He could be like a Vince Wilfork disruptor now. So they've got to have that defense coming to his own. I like that defensive line. I like the Malcolm Brown signing. Cameron Jordan's a beast. And soon as Marcus Davenport from San Antonio, I predict him to have 12-plus sacks this year. So this is going to be fun to watch, man. Saints on defense. They're the real deal. I'm so actually surprised I had them go 10-6. I might have to revisit that, but hopefully they'll go 10-6. They won't go 12-4 like you predicted. I don't even want to worry about the Saints.
Right. And like I'm not hating on your picks at all, because the game that you have them losing is games that they're on the road and they're in a cold or colder weather environment,
or they're on grass in a hot weather environment.
Right. So those are really legitimate picks, and I'm not hating on those whatsoever. And I'm kind of in your boat. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they don't go 12-4.
Right.
I want them to go 8-8, and their $100 million man just lets them down. He only gets 2 catches per
That's
game.
Funny.
So, but that's just me. But guys, that's going to be it for today. Marcus, any closing thoughts before we head out?
No, just that. Who we got tomorrow?
Carolina Panthers.
Oh man, and Cam Newton, he throwing like a dinosaur, like he has a tiny T-Rex arms. It was actually painful for me to watch that last year. He couldn't even get the ball 30 yards in the air and if he has that trouble this year and they're trying to change his motion already, Man, that's a really hard schedule to predict because if this was the old Cam Newton, I wasn't even really in love with the old Cam Newton. Like he wasn't a great accuracy
3
quarterback.
winning seasons in 9 years.
So
Not very good.
So this new Cam Newton, he's got a funky throwing motion. They'd be hard pressed to win 8 games. I mean, really, let's keep it real. So we'll see about that tomorrow. I'll take a look at that. We'll see what's going on tomorrow about it.
All right, guys. So join us tomorrow, Friday afternoon, same time, location, and good luck to my Floyd Central Highlanders. First day of pads. Let's get it.
Oh, hey. Damn, I wish I could go.
Hey.
I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
All right, man. Later.
Just send me an Uber or something. All right.